Shalom, Yasharala. This your baby brother, Yahawah, coming at you with another one. I'ma try to make it quick. Through the spirit of Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, I'ma try to make it quick. But I got a problem with these people. I got a problem with the wicked of our nation, and I got a damn sure got a problem with these fucking heathens. Kahala Yahawah bahasham yahawashi, bahasham rakah kodash. Double honors to the big brethren, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, those men that have been laboring in this truth for years. And to the rest of the brethren on down that's teaching, preaching this truth of Yahawah bahasham yahawashi, Shalom mashpakah, Shalom bayat dawada. And to the Akim and Akwatium that's out there repenting, Shalom to you, mashpakah, Shalom. Now we gonna get straight into it, because no matter how this dude sound, and he sound, well, matter of fact, let me say this first. I got this little video off the elder brother, Karate Zaba, out of the Baltimore camp with his channel, The Real Apologias. And no matter how this dude sound right here, who you looking at, no matter how he sound, because he sound like he one of our people, but you fail to realize, our women, they did some most stinking ass shit. They laid down with these dogs. And that's what he is. I perceive that from him through the spirit, that his mama possibly be one of our people. His daddy is a goddamn Edomite. So what his problem is, that's the problem. If you was telling these people that salvation is coming to them, no matter who they is, no matter what nation they is, if you was telling them salvation is coming to them, man, they wouldn't have no problem with it. They wouldn't give you no flack. They wouldn't have nothing to say. They'd say, oh shit, well, yeah, I'm a heathen and shit. Yeah, salvation's coming to me. Oh, yeah, cool, thank you. They'd want to give you hugs and kisses. But when you speaking this truth of Yahawah bahasham yahawashi, man, they gonna hate you when it comes against them. And this truth, it comes against these heathens. So they're gonna hate it. So you're going to have individuals like this that might sound like your people. That's the serpent's job. To infiltrate and dismantle shit. Man, you think this dude will be giving some damn lip? I'm for the push play. But you think this dude will be, I want to do my little rant first. You think this dude will be this fucking dog right here will be having anything to say if he knew he was an Israelite? If he was told, okay, you an Israelite, you think he would be saying something? No, he'd be like, man, shit, well, I'm cool. I don't care about nobody else. Let me do what I'm supposed to do so that I may receive salvation, so that I may be redeemed out of the hand of my enemies and all that hate me. Slakia. That's what he'll be doing. He'll be seeking to do that. But he's speaking against it. Why? Because he's a heathen. It's not hard to figure that out. All you gotta do is listen to what these people say. Listen to what comes, the words that come out their mouth, and you'll be able to tell. Let's listen to this punk ass motherfucker, and I'm gonna read some scriptures, man. I'm just gonna read a few, but let's hear what he say.
Themselves the black Hebrew Israelites. Sometimes the Hebrew Israelites, and they appeal to African Americans by teaching that African Americans are the true Jew. I mean, 28 is proof. It's just prophecy talking about the transatlantic slave trade. Since many churches have, instead of equipping the.
Now you tell me he don't sound like one of our people. Yeah, he sound like us. That's why I said this motherfucker mama can be one of our people and his daddy a fucking Edomite. Period.
Saints to not be tossed to and fro by any wind and wave of doctrine. The church has instead been just talking about blessings and money cometh and all this kind of stuff. Because of that, and because of the current racial climate in our country, many have fallen for this demonic doctrine. And at first their teachings seem to be harmless. And at first their teachings seem to be harmless. Most camps, which is similar to denominations, teach that the white man is Esau and that God hates Esau, referencing to Malachi chapter 1. They throw aside the finished work of the cross and join themselves to a works-based and a race-based righteousness. And the other night I was watching.
I want to stop it. Once again, if he was Israelite, he wouldn't be saying stuff like that. Now, he ain't none of these motherfuckers, these suit and tie pagan building going motherfuckers of our nation that be saying shit like that. Look at it. But even it ain't about it, but even through his look, he could be one of our people. But you know he's not according to the words that he's using. He's not our people, man. He might sound like how we sound, but he's not us. His daddy is an Edomite. Trust me.
A debate between a Christian teacher and a self-proclaimed Hebrew Israelite. I noticed what I felt like would be the final dagger for their whole worldview. The Gentiles. Right? There was a short back and forth regarding how Gentiles were grafted in and that salvation was not just for the Jews.
Wait a minute. Did he say that Gentiles were grafted in? So you mean to tell me they still trying to pull that same old stuff when we was in our sleep and in our darkness and dumbed down, they still trying to pull that trick out of their hat? They still trying to pull Romans 11 and verse 19. Is they trying to pull that out their head? That don't work no more. That only worked when we was asleep. Not when we woke up. Not when we are wide awakened. That don't work no more.
However, the Hebrew leader claimed that in the Bible dictionary, the word Gentile simply means nations. Or the Hebrew word for Gentile, goy, just simply means nations, and that means Jews too. You will see that God welcomed all people of all nations, even in the Old Testament. If you haven't...
That's a lie. That's a lie. If the Most High Yahawah, bahasham yahawashi, if he scattered us into captivity, to go and be a servants to all these other fucking nations. Why? For us worshiping the idols of these heathens? And you mean to tell me our fathers go accept heathens? They idol worshiping asses? Are you serious? I'm gonna try to stay calm, because that's why these people be giving me strikes, because then I don't watch my tongue. I say whatever I want to say. When it comes to this truth, let me just be quiet, man.
Read the Bible much yourself. Now, you may have been to church a lot, but you haven't really read the Bible much yourself, which is a lot of church goers. If you haven't read the Bible much yourself, now, you may have been to church a lot, but you haven't really read the Bible much yourself. Now, you may have been to church a lot, but you haven't really read the Bible much yourself, which is a lot of church goers. The Jews, he also broke cultural boundaries to bring deliverance and salvation to the Gentiles, as well, and to the surprise of many, he found great faith with people like the Roman centurion and Captain Tazariak, which is the name of the representative in the debate. He was a representative for the Black Hebrew Israelites. He says that when the Bible refers to Gentiles, it's talking about the Jews. This, I believe, is easily debunked, and the reason he needs you to believe this, and the reason that they need you to believe that, the word Gentile just simply, means Jews too. It's because of the plethora of Bible verses and passages where we read that salvation is for not just the Jews, but for the Gentiles. In verse 15, it reads like this: "But the Lord said to Ananias, Go, this man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles and their kings and to the people of Israel."
I'm going to stop it right there. I don't want to hear no more coming out of this old punk-ass motherfucker's mouth. If I say what I want to say, they're going to give me a strike. So I'm going to bite down on my tongue, and I'm going to be selective with the words that I use. Now, what did he say? He said it's easy to debunk what we saying according to what we saying, starting beginning with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone and to the rest of the brothers on down, and even to my baby ass. Because I don't proclaim that I'm some this and that. No, I say I'm a baby. And even a baby will knock your ass out. But let's get to it. He was talking about Romans. It's like he was talking about Acts 9 and 15. Don't understand. Matter of fact, let's read that. Acts 9 and verse 15. But I'm going to start up at 13. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he had done to thy saints at Yahawah. And here he had authority from the chief priest to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel. That vessel goes into body unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles. That's talking about our people, heathens. But you already know that you had heathens around those areas because if you bringing out the truth right now, if brothers on the highways and byways and you bringing out the truth, do not the heathens hear you proclaiming the name of yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi? Yeah, they do. But it was to your people that was still in that Gentile mind state. And then it says what? And kings and the children of Israel. Meaning those people of our nation that knew who they was, that's where the word was going to. And those of our nation that didn't know who they was, or accepted who they was, it was to them. And also, it wasn't for the heathens, but it was to proclaim the name of yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi in the midst of to your people. And if heathens around and they hear it, also to them. It ain't for them, but they're going to hear you proclaiming the name of yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi. And when it says, and kings, what is that talking about? Let's go into Acts. And all that was fulfilled, Acts 20, let's go here. Acts 26. And we're going to start at 12. Acts 26 and 12. Whereupon, as I went to Damascus, ain't that what it was talking about? Because when you go to Acts 1, what it say? Acts 9 and 1. And Saul, Paul, meaning Paul, yet breathing out threatening and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest and desired of him, let us to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound to Yahawah. So what was that about? When he was going to Damascus. Come back to Acts 26. Acts 26 and 12. Whereupon, as I went to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priests, at midday, O king. Who is he talking to? He's talking to a king. Who? Agrippa. What did he say? I saw in the way a light from heaven, above the brightness of the sun, shining round about me, and them which journeyed with me. Who was that journey with him? You think it was heathens? And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Shaul, why persecutest thou me? Is it hard for thee to kick against the pricks? And I said, who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Yahawashi, whom thou persecuted. What did he just do? Didn't he just proclaim the name of Yahawashi before that king, which is a Gentile? And you had our people among them that he also proclaimed the name of Yahawashi too. But see, that's why I say, when these people, when they find out they not of your flock, because they find out that their father is not of our nation, they crushed. They crushed, and don't nobody care. But let's get into these other scriptures that I want to bring out, and I'm going to end it off. Let's go to Romans 1:16. Because he's talking about Gentiles. Romans 1:16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Mashiach, for it is the power of Yahawah unto salvation to everyone that believe. Now that everyone that's believe is talking about what? That whosoever believe and shall call upon the name of Yahawah, bahasham yahawashi, shall be saved. Ye, who is that talking about? Ye men of Israel, hear these words. That's who it's talking about. Let's continue. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Mashiach, for it is the power of Yahawah unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and to the and also to the Greek. Moab ain't Greeks. Ammonites ain't Greeks. Elam ain't Greeks. Ain't none of these heathens Greeks. None of them. Now, Edomites try to claim this. See, that's talking about us. It ain't even talking about them. It's talking about Israelites that was in the land of Greece. Or Greek, the people that was being called Greek. Now, hold on. I want to go, bear with me. I want to go into that. Let's go into the concordance. Romans 1:16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Mashiach, for it is the power of Yahawah unto salvation to every one that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. Let's get that. Go down. It says what? Helene. These people are tricky, but I'm going to show you. The brother already topped on this when he did the lesson on that, which was beautiful. But let's go into it. I'm going to add my 2 cents. I'm going to come all the way down. We're going straight to the point. It says what? Strong's definition, Helene, from G1671. A Helen, going straight to the point. Grecian, that's why they have it hyphened. Grecian. So that word Helen is in reference of a Grecian. Now when you come down, it says, or inhabitant of Hellas. By extension, a Greek-speaking person. We're going to end it right there. We ain't going to read nothing else. It's a Greek-speaking person. Who is that Grecian? Was a Greek-speaking person. Now let's find out exactly who is this Grecian and this Greek-speaking person. Right? But we're going to find. Let's go over here first, though. Let's go to Romans 2. And we're going to go down. Let's start at... I start at 8. Fuck it. Romans 2 and verse 8. But unto them that are contentious, and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, indignation and wrath, tribulation and anguish, upon every soul of man that doeth evil, of the Jew first, and also of the Gentile. It's talking about the same individuals. To let you know, it's not talking about heathens. Let's get it. Let's go into that Gentile. Let's see if it say the same thing. come all the way down to the Gentile. You see that word right there, right? It says Helen. I ain't got to go into the definition. You already know it. Same thing. What it says, same thing before. Let's come out of that. You already know what it's talking about. It says Grecian, a Greek-speaking person. Just gonna make this snappy. Now, let's go get that Grecian. Let's go to Acts 11. Because it's going to say the same thing. Because they always like to try to get away when it says, oh, to the Jew first and to the Greek, or to the Jew first and to the Gentile. Well, this is the Jew first, and this is that Gentile. Acts 11, verse 19 and 20 is the point for that. To the Jew first, and also to the Greek, or also to the Gentile. This is the same thing. Acts 11 and 19. Now, they which were scattered abroad upon the persecution that arose about Stephen, traveled as far as Heathens and Cyprus and to Antioch, preaching the word to none but unto the Jews only. Understand, it said they was preaching the word but unto the Jews only, not to nobody else, only to the Jews. Verse 20, and some of them were men of Cyprus and Cyrene. Now, who was those men of Cyprus and Cyrene? One of them was who? Barnabas. Which, when they were come to Antioch, spake unto the Grecians, preaching the Lord yahawashi. Let's go into those Grecians. Hoping this recorder don't stop on me. Let's go into those Grecians. What it says? Hellenistus. Let's let it tell you.
Strong's G 1675. Hellenistes. Hellenistes.
You got it. What did it say? A Hellenist, one who imitates the manners and customs or the worship of the Greek, and use the Greek tongue. So when you go back to Romans 1 and 16, and it says that what? That Greek, and it goes into the word Hellen, and it says those Greek-speaking people that speak Greek, this is who it's referring to. It's going to tell you. B, used in the New Testament of Jews born in foreign lands speaking Greek. That's who it's talking about. Period. It's talking about Greek-speaking Jews. When it says Helen, that was referring to our people that was in these Greek cities that was Hellenized. That's it. Period. And who was these people that was Hellenized? Our people. Jews from the tribe of Yahawah. What does it say? Hellenistes. Hellenistes. From a derivative of what? It says what? G, it says from a derivative from G 1672. Wasn't that the word that went with that Greek for Hellen? Oh, or when you went to Romans 2, verse 8 to 10, the 9 and 10 pertaining to that Gentile, it also said Hellen, which was G 1672. This is who it's talking about. A Hellenist or Greek-speaking Jew. That was the Greek-speaking person that it was talking about. Our people that were scattered in that land. Us. Not no heathens. Period. And let's go. Let's get one more before I end it off. Let's go to Acts 6. Now, we're going to go into the translation of this. And we're going to let you know who those Greeks was. Who those Gentiles was. And who these Grecians was. And their mouth should be shut the fuck up. Period. Tired of these motherfuckers. Acts 6 and 1. And in those days when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministrations. Now let's go into the translations. Let's go into them. I already read the KJV. Let's go to this next one. Now in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplying, there arose a complaint against the Hebrews by the Hellenists. Who did it say the Hellenists was? Greek-speaking Jews. Because their widows were neglected in the daily distributions. It had nothing to do with no daily distributions. They're going to be talking about food and all that. And they ain't talking about no food. It's talking about the women was neglected for doing the work of the ministry as pertaining to an evangelist. NLT. But as the believers rapidly multiplied, there were rumblings of discontent. The Greek-speaking believers, who is those Greek-speaking believers? Yahawah complained against the Hebrew-speaking believers, saying their widows were being discriminated against in the daily distribution of food. It ain't had nothing to do with no food. Yet the food of these scriptures being fed with this truth. Now, ASV translation, now in these days, when the number of the disciples was multiplying, there arose a murmuring of the Grecian Jews. What did it say? Let's read it again. Translation ASV. Now, in these days, when the number of the disciples was multiplying, there arose a murmuring of the Grecian Jews against the Hebrews, all from the tribe of Yahawah, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministrations. DBY. But in those days, the disciples multiplied in number. There arose a murmuring of the Hellenists against the Hebrews, because their widows were overlooked in the daily ministrations. HNV. Now the days when the number of... Well, I ain't even going to read that one. RSV. Now these days when the disciples were increasing in number, the Hellenists murmured against the Hebrews because their widows. Now we already know what the Hellenists is talking about. Greek-speaking Yahawah. Let's come down. It says what? And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews. Who were those Grecians? Greek-speaking Jews, because their widows neglected in the daily ministrations. YLT. And in the days of the disciples multiplying, and in these days, the disciples multiplying, there came a murmuring of the Hellenists at the Hebrews, because their widows were being overlooked in the daily ministrations. NIV. In those days, when the number of the disciples was increasing, the Hellenistic Jews, what? In those days, when the number of the disciples was increasing, the Hellenistic Jews among them complained against the Hebraic Jews, because their widows were neglected in the overlook in the daily distribution of food. They ain't talking about no food. But I'm ending off there, man. But let's go down. Let's find out. Let's go down here. Let's see if it's going to say something. It's Hellenistic Jews. Let's see if it's going to say something about some gentile. Let's see. BBE. Now in those days when the number of the disciples was increasing, protests were made by the Greek Jews against the Hebrews, because their widows were not taken care of in the distribution of food every day. It ain't had nothing to do with no food. Let's come down. Let's come down. Well, it ain't saying anything about no Gentiles, but it's telling you who it's talking about. Those Greeks was our people that was in those lands. Period. So what is this idiot talking about? Take a look at him. So what is this stupid idiot talking about? He don't know what he's talking about. Why? Because he a heathen. And preferably, my spirit telling me, the spirit of Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi is telling me, and hey, I ain't gonna say I'm wrong. Spirit telling me he a fucking Edomite. Period. He a dumbass, if you ask me. And I'm gonna end it off there. Call on Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, bahasham, kakadash, and double honor to the big brothers, the elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, those that have been laboring in this truth for years to come. And to the rest of the brethren on down that's teaching and preaching this truth of Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, shalom, bayat dabada, and to the Akim and Akwatium that's out there repenting, shalom to you, Mashmakai, shalom.